February 2024 was actually really busy for me, and I decided to take part of Finish It February, which is where you knit all your whips and try not to cast on anything new and get everything done. And it is now February 23rd, and I just finished my very first cast on of the year. So basically that means that right now I just have one project on the needles, which is another scarf. So I think it is now time to cast on something new, hence this video. And one yarn that I've been itching to use for the longest time is, again, a yarn from Kensington Prairie Farm, but it is this beautiful teal cone. Now this is a lace weight yarn, and it is 100% baby alpaca. If you guys watched the video where I swatched and tested a bunch of yarns for upcoming projects, one of the yarns that I swatched was actually this one for the Elisabeth Blouse by Petite Knit. This is a sweater that I've been talking about casting on for, I think, like 6 months now. It's been a while. And I discovered that if I hold this yarn 3 times, like 3 strands together, it is thick enough for a sport weight. So what I'm going to be doing is casting that on and knitting it up. Instead of putting the little collars, spare stitches on an extra needle, on an extra stitch holder or spare yarn, I put it on a needle. So I right now, oh my God, first attempt at putting it on. A little bit messy. Ain't she a beauty? So I finished the collar and I just finished the short rows. So now it is time to actually start the yoke, the whole body portion of the cardigan, of the sweater. This yarn is very, very soft. It kind of has like an interesting texture to it, which I wonder if that'll go away in the wash, or that's just because it's a laced alpaca. It's almost like a silky texture. Like there's like a layer on the yarn. I'm not too sure. It's very interesting. It's also very drapey, which I was expecting because it's alpaca, but it's working up to be extremely drapey. So we'll also see as the project goes on what ends up happening. My hope is that the sweater doesn't actually just like fall off because it can't hold itself, because that would suck. That would really, really suck. Is this one? Yeah, I found an extra skein that I had wounded up that's not attached to anything, and I don't remember caking this one up. The amount of yarn that this cone has is insane. And if I had batteries in my scale, I would totally weigh this and tell you guys, but the entire cone was 1,012 grams. 100 grams is 800 meters. So 800 meters, the 100 grams. I have 1,000 grams. It just baffles me how much yarn is on this cone. And it was only, this cone was $100. 13 cents the gram. It's actually been a little bit of a time. It's been a couple days since I started the sweater, and I kind of wish I was a little bit further than where I am currently. A reason why this is taking me so long for this sweater is because I've been waiting for the perfect day to show you guys the work in progress, because it's been raining, it's been gray, and I've recently been working a lot, so the days are very short. The sun is not here. And basically, I just don't want to film at night because it doesn't look as pretty at night. But yeah, this is where I'm at. This is the yoke, and I am at the portion where I can now start the collar. So let me just... So now the next step is actually to break the yarn and stop working on the yoke, leave the stitches on here, but to actually work the little bands, the little collars that are going to be here. It's actually a double knit collar, so we're going to be doing that. I think I'm going to knit one and then we'll see what it looks like, and then maybe we'll knit the other one together. And I also think I'm going to do it on double pointed needles. We're going to see how that works out. And then from there on, after that, we can pick up the yoke again and finish and connect it all together, and then maybe hopefully separate for some sleeves and some bodies. I know I said I was going to show you guys how I did the second one because I was going to knit the first one and then show you how I did the second one. Well, last night I ended up watching Dune, the first part, because today we're supposed to go watch part 2. And the first one was an alright movie. I'm not going to say, and given it did finish around 12:30 at night, I was pretty exhausted. So I almost fell asleep during the movie, but we'll see what happens today. My friends really want to go see it, and I'm kind of seeing it as a knitting opportunity. So hopefully I can bring this guy with me, get it in a part where it could just be easily knit along during the movie. I am just about to connect the two front halves. So here we have one of our bands. This is the collar, and then here's the band, the double knitted band, and then here's the other one. So basically, yeah, I knit it while watching Dune. Dune. I am now just gonna finish the row, and then I'll try it on for you, show you guys, and then keep going with the yoke. I'm thinking when I go see the movie, I could maybe put a stitch marker at the beginning, see how much I knit up. So we're supposed to go see the movie at 10. So hopefully by then I should be at a point. It's 11 a.m. I should be at a point where I can just do stockinette either for the sleeve or just for the body. Which one is easier? Because I'm assuming the movie theater will be dark. Almost there. Honestly, this looks super, super good. I'm really happy with it. I'm gonna go check in the mirror. Before I go do that, I think the next step is to put both bands together. So the stitches on one side and the stitches on the other, we're gonna connect them, kind of overlap both. And then just do the yoke split for this body and the sleeves. I don't know what it is today. It's beautiful and sunny outside, but the cops or the ambulances are just going crazy. Of course, when I say that, it stops.
I just did her initial exam. She was a burn patient and she wasn't surgical. There was nothing more for me to do for her.
I'm kind of happy with how much I got done during the movie, which I was actually surprised. I went to go see Dune, and it was a very long movie. My boyfriend really, really liked it. I thought it was okay. I'm not crazy about it, but then I think it's just not for me. I did talk to my mom about it, and she apparently loved it. So I think I might just be the odd one out. I just, midway through, was like, it could end. Like, it wasn't bad. It was enjoyable. It was beautiful. I just like movies and stories where I can really connect with one of the characters, and I just didn't really feel a connection with these characters. If you guys do watch it, I did like his mom. I thought that she was a really cool character. That was pretty much it. So the stitch marker is weirdly on the inside, I guess, in the theater. The theater was pitch black, and I'm so happy I brought this knit because basically I was just able to knit in the round. There really wasn't any, as long as I didn't drop a stitch, I was fine. So the movie was this long, and in the dark, I did 2.5 inches. That's about an inch an hour. Not too bad. Not too bad. Towards the end, I kind of stopped knitting though, because we went at 10:30 at night, so we left at like 1:30 a.m. I was kind of done. I was kind of beat. Can you even see anything? I did, in the movie, finish one of my cakes. So I am still on the cone, but I am now on a new cake, and I have this one left. So we'll see. I'm really curious to see how far I can get with before having to cake up some new yarn from this. See how much, because this is kind of insane. My cone still looks the same, and I think this is what, 25% is of the sweater. I'm pretty sure that I'll have more than enough yarn for another knit after this, even if I'm holding it 3 times together. So it does say on the inside how many grams this cone is, so we're gonna weigh it at the end of this project. And I'm really curious to see in the end how much yarn I will have used up. Here is the finished body. So I'm just gonna put it on, and finally I can actually put it on because I put my sleeve already sort of casted on. My goal this weekend is to potentially knit one sleeve, and then who knows, maybe during the week we'll knit the second. I am caught. Of course, when I wear this, I won't be wearing a shirt like this underneath, and I won't be wearing it with khaki green pants, but I actually really like it. I'm really happy with how the body fits and where it sits. So now the fun part is actually knitting up the sleeve. Hopefully in about a week we should have a finished sweater, because depends on my motivation, but typically just stockinette sleeves, I work through them pretty quickly. So one thing that is insane about this sweater right here is this is the original skein that I caked up at the beginning of the video. This is how much I have left. So basically, I knit the entire body and collar of a sweater with one skein. I did break into a new one that I found that I had originally caked up. So this one will probably last me for both sleeves. But this is, I think, about how big this one was. So this yarn really goes a long way. I'm honestly curious to see if I could finish both sleeves with this. Maybe not, but maybe one sleeve. We'll see. This afternoon, don't get mad at me, but this afternoon I caked up a good portion of this cone so I can start working on my Florence bag. And instead of finishing my Elisabeth blouse, because I sometimes feel like, I don't know, I just felt like starting something new. I'm literally at the rib for the sleeve. The needle that I need for the Florence bag is these ones. I need my 3.5 millimeter or my US 4 to start the bag. So either way, whether I wanted to or not, I kind of need to now finish the sweater so I can start the bag. So I guess tonight I'm gonna finish the Elisabeth blouse, even though I don't really feel like it. I need the needles. I need the needles. Sweater is now finished. So basically now I got my little tub and my soap, and I'm just gonna block it. But this is what it looks like before being blocked and washed. I'm expecting it to grow. I'm expecting it to drape. Hopefully, I hope the body grows about like maybe half an inch would be great. I have no idea what's gonna happen with the collar. We're gonna see. Haven't washed or blocked it. So far it fits fine. I might, if it drapes too much, have to wear a tank top under it. Or I was thinking maybe potentially, but that'll be a future Ev decision and problem. But I was thinking of just like sewing the V, just like adding a little like stitch or something on the inside so that it just closes just a little bit. So then I don't have to wear a shirt underneath it all the time. Okay, so I am finally back home. I did, in fact, go to Wet Coast Wools and pick out some yarn for a different project. The yarn I got is this beautiful mohair to pair, hopefully, with this alpaca yarn. But that'll be, you guys will see that in another video later on, hopefully. But yeah, let's hop back onto the Elisabeth blouse. Honestly, I've been wearing this one probably for a couple days now, and I think out of all my petite knit patterns, this one might be my favorite. I think it was also the yarn selection that I went with. The alpaca feels just super, super soft, and holding it 3 strands together did allow it to drape, but not excessively to a point where it's unwearable. I think the 3 strands kind of reinforced each other. The color is just beautiful, and I've gotten so many compliments in wearing this out in public or online. The fit, the color, everything, it's just perfect. If you guys haven't casted on the sweater or are planning on casting it on, I highly recommend you do. I actually really enjoyed this knit. I didn't have too many setbacks or have to redo anything really, which is kind of rare for me. Usually I always have one big major setback where I unravel it all. And if you have casted it on or are one of those people who did unravel their Elisabeth blouse, let me know in the comment section why. I'm actually really curious to see what was your experience, because I know a fair amount of people did have issues with this pattern or this yarn or sizing or something. So now it is time for the grand reveal. So this is what my cone looks like as of today. I feel like it still looks pretty full. Just a reminder, this cone had 1,012 grams and 100 grams is 800 meters. I did just weigh this, and I can't remove the cardboard on the inside. So we're just gonna assume the cardboard weighs 10 grams. I don't know how much cardboard weighs. But in the end, I now have 635 grams of yarn left on my cone. So I used like less than half of the cone for this one sweater. And then 635 grams equals about 2,900 meters, which roughly, let's say I was to knit another project like this one where I have to hold 3 strands together to create a DK weight, a sport weight. That's true, to create a sport weight. That means that divided by 3, I have 973 meters of yarn. Of course, if I'm planning on doing a fingering weight, that's when I hold 2. I'll have more yarn. If I do a DK weight, I'd probably have to hold 4 strands. So then I'd have less meterage. So it all depends on what I do. I don't plan on knitting this exact same sweater again with the exact same yarn. I probably will knit another Elisabeth Blouse, but I don't know that it would be in this exact color. So I think in the end, that kind of wraps up the Elisabeth Blouse, my experience knitting this up, casting it on from start to end. If you guys like these types of video, please let me know in the comment section down below, or remember to subscribe. I try and upload every week, and thank you guys so much for joining me. Hope you guys have a lovely, beautiful day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!